Hi guys, it is April from Getting Huggo With It. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the book to film or book to TV adaptations that are coming out in 2019 that I know about. I'm sure that there are going to be a couple more, and maybe I'll do a whole other video about that later if I find out more, but I am pretty excited about some of these, so let's get into it. First book to movie adaptation coming out in 2019 is Where'd You Go Bernadette by Maria Semple. I still haven't read this. I should probably do that before I run to the movie theater to watch it. This is going to be coming out on March 22nd, and it has Kate Blanchett in it, it has Billy Crudup, it has Kristen Wiig, and it just sounds lovely. In this book we're following a 15-year-old girl who wins a trip to Antarctica because she's like this brilliant student, and somehow she wins this trip. And so she tells her mom, who is a little bit eccentric. She's intelligent but agoraphobic, Bernadette is. And they're preparing for the trip, and Bernadette just kind of vanishes, and it's her seeking out her mom. It's supposed to be really funny, and so I am eager to read this and then go and see the actual movie. Next up is a good one. Pet Sematary is coming out on April 5th. This is obviously by Stephen King. I have never read this book, and I think I'd like to try and listen to the audiobook before I go and see the movie. The audiobook is narrated by Michael C. Hall, so that's a good thing. So Pet Sematary is coming out on April 5th, and it stars Jason Clarke and John Lithgow. I haven't seen John Lithgow in anything for a while now, so I'm eager to see him in action again. And this is... Stephen King has such a weird mind. This is about a family that moved to a new home, and the neighbors seem fine, but on like one of the first days that they're there, the neighbors show the family where the kids have created a little pet cemetery, which is creepy. Who allows their kids to like create a pet cemetery? In any case, essentially what's happening in this book is I think the pets are coming back to life and are super creepy. So I want to listen to this on audiobook before I go and see the movie. Next up is a book I've had on my list of things to read forever, and it's The Aftermath by Ridian Brooke. This is coming out on April 26th, and it stars Keira Knightley. It's a big name for a small book. Like, I don't feel like this book is very well known. I'm really hoping that the movie adaptation, they'll probably come out with like a book cover, book to movie cover, so I'm really hoping that it does well. I'm hoping it's good too. This is about the British occupation of Germany just after World War II ends. It is 1946, and we're following a British officer and his wife, and essentially what the Brits did, I think, in history, when they occupied Germany after the war, they would go and take over Nazi homes. So they'd have like these big beautiful homes, and the British would show up and be like, okay, bye, you're kicked out, essentially. And this British officer decides instead to move his wife and his family in to a home where Germans are living, and they just live together. Which, I mean, I can only imagine the tension in this book, and I can only imagine the tension that is going to be in that movie. I'm so excited for that one. That's coming out April 26th, if I haven't said it already. Next up is The Rosie Project, which is coming out on May 10th. And this is about a young man who is eccentric in his own way. He's a brilliant scientific man, but he's not very good in social situations, and he's trying to date. It's supposed to be really, really funny, and I don't know anything about who's starring in this. I'm not sure if that's been released yet, but if you've read the Rosie Project, know that a movie version is coming out May 10th. One movie that I think is going to explode at the box office because it is such a beloved book is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is World War II fiction, and we are following two sisters trying to survive the war, and there's quite a lovely connection between these sisters, and I did enjoy it. I wasn't as blown away by it as like most people. Most people read this book, and some people it's like their favorite book because I don't know what it is. They love it. But that is coming out on August 10th. I will definitely be going to see that. I could see that being an absolutely phenomenal movie. So that's coming out August 10th. Okay, I don't know if this might be my most anticipated book to movie adaptation coming out in 2019. It Chapter 2 is coming out on September 6th. This movie follows the kids in it when they're adults, essentially. So we already saw the kids face it, and now they're coming back to this little town that they grew up in, and they're going to be fighting it all over again on September 6th. This is another Stephen King, another horror about a group of people who are traumatized by this evil presence in their little hometown, and they have to try and fight it. It's very creepy. It's got clowns. If you struggle with clowns, I mean, I'm sorry, but you're probably not gonna like it. But this is starring some amazing actors. This has Jessica Chastain in it, Bill Hader, I love Bill Hader, and James McAvoy, and there were many other people as well that I recognized, but honestly, the casting looks fantastic. I cannot wait. So that comes out September 6th. Next up is a thriller that I absolutely loved. It's The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is coming out to film on October 4th, and this storyline is just so much fun. It's about a woman who just can't leave her home. She really struggles with that. I think she's also agoraphobic. In any case, she can't leave her home. She stays inside. She drinks a lot. And one night she sees outside her window something horrible happen to a family across the way. And she feels like she's the only one who's going to be able to help. And she tries to help from behind her own home, essentially. She tries to help from the window. I loved it. And this is coming out on October 4th. Another amazing cast with this one. Amy Adams. Amy Adams just kicked some serious butt in Sharp Objects, the TV miniseries on HBO. I loved that. So it's Amy Adams, we've got Gary Oldman, and we've got Julianne Moore. Could you have a better cast? I highly doubt it. AJ Finn must be losing his mind with how happy he is with that cast. I can't imagine writing a book and then having those people in the movie version. Good for him. Next up is a beast of a book, and I'm assuming it'll be a beast of a movie as well. It's The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is about a boy who is in an accident with his mother, and I think his mom dies in it. And it's a growing up story, and we follow him from his youth all the way into his adult life. And I think he kind of falls apart in his adult life. He's not always the most likable character, apparently. I have not read this book. It's enormous, but it is coming out on film on October 11th. And again, the cast is fantastic. Nicole Kidman. Yes. Sarah Paulson, Luke Wilson. I mean, I have plans to read The Secret History by Donna Tartt. That would be my first Donna Tartt for 2019. But maybe I'm going to have to try and fit both in because that's exciting. Another book I don't have with me that's being turned into a movie is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. So Gregory Maguire really takes all like fairy tales and that kind of thing, and he twists them and recreates them. So he's done Cinderella. In this case, he's doing The Wizard of Oz. And this has been turned into a musical. It's unclear to me whether this is a musical in film form or what, but this is supposed to be coming out on December 20th, and I will be there for that. I read the book. I really liked the book. Very political. I watched the musical, loved the musical. So yeah, I'm definitely going to that. Another extremely exciting, for me, this story is so near and dear to my heart. It's Little Women. It's getting another adaptation. Now, I don't know, I really don't know if any adaptation will feel as good to me as the one with Kirsten Dunst and Susan Sarandon. Like I love that version. I remember vividly going to the theaters with my mom and my sister to see that. So it's coming out again, and it's coming out on December 25th. And we've got a pretty stellar cast, guys. Meryl Streep, Emma Watson, Saoirse Ronan, and Laura Dern. Am I saying her name right? Saoirse? I'm feeling so guilty. But what a brilliant cast. And so I'm very, very eager to watch this. December 25th. I can't wait. It's so lovely when they take classics and do film adaptations for them. And I don't think I'd ever get sick of Little Women. It's so good. Okay, and then the last one I don't have a date for, sadly, but it's been very recently announced that Netflix is coming to the rescue and is bringing Rebecca to Netflix. And I am so thrilled. I have never seen a film adaptation of this. I think there was one done that won an Oscar, I think, in the 60s. Don't quote me on that. But I've never seen it, and I'm very eager. I know nothing other than Netflix is taking this on. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This was my first Daphne du Maurier. If you haven't read du Maurier, this, I think, is the best way to start. It's her most well-loved, it's her most well-known, and this is about a woman who is working as like a lady's companion. She's working with this elderly woman who's crotchety and not very nice. And they're on a cruise, and she meets a man on the cruise named Mr. De Winter, and they have a very quick love affair, and he asks her to marry her, and she says yes, and they move to Manderley, where he lived. He also lived there with his first wife, who just recently died, and her name was Rebecca. And her presence like seethes and seeps into the entire home. You don't even know the name of our main character, but you really get to know Rebecca. It's so good. So thank you, Netflix, for doing that for us. And those are all of the book to movie adaptations that I know about so far. Again, I will totally do another version of this as I know more. But I'm really, really excited for so many of these. It's also so nice when you've read most of them. I've read like probably half of them at least. And so I don't have the added pressure of like reading like, I don't know, 15 books, you know? So that's good. Let me know in the comments below which movie you're most excited about. For me, it's It. I think that's the one for me, but I want to know which one you're most excited about, and I will talk with you later. Okay, bye guys.